Oh, that's creepy. You're me. That's fun. Whatever. We'll see how well they actually know who we are that way. That'll be fun.
Let's see if this works. Nope, doesn't.
Cool.
Oh my goodness, why is this happening? I'm running really late, brother. In fact, I don't think it's working. Hold on.
Where is it?
Be ready to run the show, man. Be ready to run the show, man. It is. We're on. We're live. We're good.
Oh no.
What's up?
And Phil, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Doing it?
Hold on.
I'm gonna go get chicken nuggets.
If Web can have chimkins?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about now? Good? Good now? I'm just not close enough. Can you hear me fine now? Good. So, hear me fine now? Good. I'm going to tweet this out and then we'll go. Mike, we are not exactly live, so you're good to talk. That's you there, right? live, and I think we can go, man. It's all you, bro. Brother. We're live. It is in a lot of ways. That's the toughest, isn't it? Yeah, talking about the youth though, Mike, we have we have a lot of guys coming from indie clubs too. I think we had a bit of a down year as far as the youth coming up in the USL, especially on the indie side. But San Antonio all of a sudden is emerging as a club that's been putting out some incredible talent. OC keeps stealing two side players, so I don't know. How do you feel about the youth in the USL this year and maybe going forward? Hmm.
all the time who say, I totally underestimated the level of this league when I came in. I hear it constantly.
Sure.
And I think you need to at least give these guys a shot
Right.
with more than 2 games to get where they want to go.
Yeah. Hi, Pony.
Hello.
Welcome to the thing.
I made it.
You did. Happy opening night. We have Mike for another. Mike, you hang out for like another 5 minutes, you think?
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, what a guy. Pony, do you have anything you want to spew at Mike?
No, I'm just kind of getting in, making sure I'm not gonna rehash anything that's written.
Griffin's got to make sure your audio's working real quick. So.
Yeah, the cat's.
Once
hanging
she's
out by
sorted
me.
Get
out.
back, Pony.
There she goes.
I'm happy to hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's good to be back. USL season is always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, well, no, I can ask you because you're in States, but you are also a guy that commentates, so I don't suppose it would be above board for you to do so. But do you guys, I'll ask it this way, do you guys in league, now that sports betting is legal and you can find lines and things, sometimes scratch your head and think we should go into Vegas odd making?
The one thing I've learned,
Sure.
I've covered, NBA games, NFL games, USL, MLS, Open Cup, CONCACAF. I mean, I've covered.
Keep bragging. It's fine.
No, my point is like every time I think I know where this is going, I don't. So my biggest lesson as a sports bettor is don't, because I don't know, and I'm not saying other people don't know, but I'm lost. I've had friends text me and go, hey, by the way, I've got over 1.5 on the first half of this game. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah, like, yeah.
I'm not trying to
Mike,
Michael.
are you
This is
supposed to use that in the
overwhelming.
broadcast? You're like, yo, my guy Mark out in Dallas has the over on this match, so I'm really hoping that comes through. And you're like, what?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the world's going to go that way. I mean, the XFL is proving
for sure.
that I think there's an appetite for it.
Yeah, do you want to get on the field and do some interviews with players tonight?
Terrified.
No.
Because those players don't come off. That means I have to go on.
You have to go on. It's true. It's true. You might catch a stud, and that would be a hell of a broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, the 2016 final, one of the quirks we had was we interviewed Ryan Mara, the goalkeeper for Red Bull, on the field literally seconds before kickoff, and that's, I think, as close as anyone's going to get to interviewing people live without putting in an IFB like the MLS All-Star Game.
That's fair. We'll let you go. Although Carson, who does all of our written stuff and is from Cleveland, wants us to ask you where the best place to eat in Cleveland is.
I'm going to let him down so hard.
I'm sure you are, but I mean, we do that all the time to him anyway, so it's fine.
Well, it's just I haven't lived in Cleveland since I was in high school, so I went to Ignatius downtown. It was like Ohio City burrito and, like stopping into the West Side Market Cafe. And so it's like all these, I went to Ohio City burrito, over Christmas holiday as well. So it's not like that's a high school only establishment, I hope. Freshman Watts, I keep getting older and he stays the same. But yeah, I mean, I'm a simple man with simple taste. That's all I can say. That's all I got. Sokolowski's maybe. Good pierogi. That's a win.
Carson says West Side Market all day. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Mike, I'm sure this was all just to pop him and get a reaction, and so you succeeded in that, and that's all that matters.
Sorry, dude.
I like it.
Stay hydrated out there. Don't try to talk too much after this.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure,
Thanks for having
Mike.
me on, guys, and appreciate you guys continuing to put this together year after year, and let's enjoy this season, huh?
Let's do that.
Yeah, I mean, someone has to, right?
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, boss.
Thanks, boys.
The incomparable Mike Watts.
Incomparable is about right.
Yeah,
He's got his own sound, his own style. He's always on point with his conversation and things. It's always awesome to have him on.
he's just a nice guy too.
Yeah. Nice as
Oh.
they come. I mean, he's from Cleveland, so maybe that's why. It's that.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Drew Carey's from there, and he never struck me as a pleasant person. I have no idea.
I'm gonna blame LA on that one. I imagine LA ruined him. Ruined a nice Cleveland
No,
boy.
I think bipolar disorder ruined him. But you know, 6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
I've heard of that.
Speaking of I could have California Pony. How are things? Oh boy. All right. No, hold on. Hold on. Eesh. No, you know we'll talk. Pony, how's it going? Are you settled in? You ready for this weekend slate of USL matches?
Yep, about an hour and a half left, and we got soccer.
Imagine.
Been looking forward to this for basically the last 2 weeks. It's been on my calendar.
One of many people that has it circled in, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting that they start with 2 games at the same time, though, on Friday. It seems like they're going to try to stagger that a little bit.
I don't know. Yes, the answer is yes. I would have done one East, one West, but again, I'm not the schedule maker. I might know someone that can make me the schedule maker, but
I was thinking that part of that might be that, on the East Coast in the middle, we have plenty of time to settle in after work before that game starts. I feel like it's going to help us all watch it a little more.
Yeah, I mean, that's also, I know that's a problem with doing an East Coast one on this day, is it messes with West Coast people.
Yeah, they're not going to see
Whenever
it
there's
at
a
all.
Friday night game, yeah, whenever there's a Friday night game, I'm getting home at about halftime.
Makes sense. But, Evan, I mean, you're not going to watch this whole game, are you? I wouldn't, but I'm a dad.
Maybe. I don't start throwing cheese around till 11 tomorrow morning, so in theory I could watch these games.
I'm picturing you slinging cheese across, there's
Listen.
Crowds gathered around your cheesemonger station, and you're just slinging it around.
You were not that far off, to be honest. I didn't come with any cheese tips handy.
You know what I was just thinking?
For that, I apologize.
Well, I'm curious. I'm sure you've used one of those things that cuts cheese, and I feel like there was this wasn't there a horror movie that they used the cheese thing to strangle people? You know what I'm talking about?
No, those are usually piano wire.
No, it's 2 handles on the end, and it's connected by a piece of wire.
One of those. Those aren't actually sharp. Sorry, I'm breaking kayfabe here. Those are not sharp wires. Those are just wires, which is why I actually use a series of chef's knives and actually a boning knife. Welcome to the USL show where I talk about cheese. What was I talking? Oh, right. So yeah, it's all a series of knives right now, and those are sharp, and they do cut through cheese. I did Carson. Preferred grilled cheese. Carson, listen, man. All right, here's my soapbox. You never grow out of your nostalgia, cheese-wise or food-wise in general, really. So it's whatever you grew up on, you're still going to like when you're in your mid-20s, early 30s. Oh, now I get to stop talking about cheese because our guest is here? Okay.
No, let's talk about cheese.
Cool. Ryan, what's your... sorry, back up.
Thank God you're here, Ryan.
I forgot. I got so excited. What can I say? I don't get asked about my day-to-day life from people that only know me from the soccer world. It is the everything guy at USL, Ryan Madden.
I'll take it.
All right, great, cool.
You're the everything to us, Ryan.
Ryan, what is your favorite cheese? Indulge me.
Oh man, that's a good question. I like a 4-blend cheddar that pairs with street tacos. You know, a slightly melted 4-blend cheddar is my favorite.
Okay, I got it. If I could send you cheese to Tampa, I'd do it. Is all I'm saying.
If you want to, I'll take it. So
it just doesn't travel well.
He sends me
problem. Anyway,
sends me pictures. I get cheese pictures of that.
What's going on though, guys? It's good to be here.
Happy 2020 to you, sir. Both really, I haven't talked to you since the year changed, and the Soccer World 2020. Yeah. Your job starts now. Congratulations.
I mean, I'd like to think that we've been doing a little bit of work in the off season, but that's
I haven't seen a whole lot of it, if I'm honest.
I don't know. Look, you guys, it's fine. Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to be back at work. it's been a long vacation. Good to spend some time with the family, but yeah, it's nice to get back to the grind.
So we have two games tonight, and then a bunch more this throughout the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Tonight specifically, I mean, what are you looking forward to? What is the league office sort of tuned into? What is the vibe around USL World Headquarters in Tampa there?
Um, just it's probably pretty predictable. It's just excitement.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
with all jokes aside, you work really hard in the off season. You put in all this effort, and you want to make 2020 the biggest, best year that the league's ever had because it deserves it.
Right.
The league's come a long way in the last 10 years. I think it's 10 years ago it was a six-team league that was nascent and struggling for impact, and we didn't quite know what the future of Division 2 or Division 3 professional soccer look like in the United States. And here we are today, a couple hours or less away from starting the 10th season
Right.
of what is now the championship, and you got 35 clubs, and you have almost $1 billion at play in stadium development around the country,
Hmm.
and you have a CBA that's currently being negotiated, and you
Yeah.
have first year of a new 3-year media rights deal that I think has lowered the barrier to access for fans across the
Hmm.
country to watch USL soccer at both levels. So it's there's a lot going on. The quality of play has never been better. So we're just excited. We want to get to work. We want to see the ball getting kicked around. I'm in San Diego right now, and San Diego Loyal just announced a sellout. So I'm excited to see
Oh
what
Right.
tomorrow
yeah.
looks like too. So this is exciting time. We're all buzzing a little bit.
Let's talk about those stadiums. We got to get it in if you're here, right? So we got to talk about
Yeah.
Louisville, but bring us up to date on all the other ones as well, because I know almost every team seems to be starting something for the most part.
Yeah, it's huge. It's probably the singular biggest priority in our league at the moment is from just a straight up fan experience standpoint to make sure that when you go to the grounds on a Friday night or a Saturday and you watch your local team play, that you're doing it in a quality soccer venue. Whether it's the league or its ownership groups, like I said, it's a nearing $1 billion of proposed investment across the country, and that's not something to blink at. I mean, that's big time. And by the time the 2026 World Cup rolls around, I think you're going to see soccer specific stadiums, a presence of soccer specific stadiums in this country like you've never seen before. If you think about what's going on with the proposal in Indianapolis or in Buffalo, or the 400 million USL Championship club anchored development in Providence. If you think about the plans in Des Moines, if
Hmm.
you think about the $60 million stadium that's opening up in Louisville, Kentucky this year. There's stadiums coming online in Chattanooga. There's stadium coming online in Statesboro, Georgia. The list goes on. I'm sure I left some out there, but it's pretty remarkable, and I think it's probably the most exciting thing going on in the USL right now.
Yeah, we gotta let's. I love that, and we're all looking forward to all of those. I know. Well,
Yeah.
there were two that dropped recently. The New Mexico one is gonna be fun. Once that happens, that's gonna be just incredible. But Carson had a silly question, and it's perfect because Carson is kind of familiar with hip hop. It seems like. So here we go.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
do it.
what is you might need to think about this one. What is Ryan's favorite Wu Tang verse or Naughty by Nature song?
Oh man.
My gosh, what? These are the ones that just like
I'm
I need
sure you were thinking about this all morning, by the way, the
This is
morning before your
I'll
league kicked
tell you.
off.
I'll tell you. It is inspect the decks opening verse to protect your neck. I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, and then it goes on. I won't do it.
I
But
like it.
that's my favorite. Yeah,
It's a good one.
yeah.
I'm sure Carson's loving that. A better question from the Soccer Goose. You've probably seen his work. What do you feel is the brand of the USL? The brand. Let's say you walked into the elevator and it was like the
Yeah.
ESPN guy or the Fox Sports guy. What's your pitch? Like, why do people need to pay attention to the USL?
I think because I'll answer that. I think we're the only league of any professional league, and I don't want to say the world because I don't want to be hyperbolic, but certainly in the United States, where I think the very first thing that you think of when you think about the USL is the supporters. I don't know that that's true in any other professional league in the United States. If you think about the NBA, it's really a personality driven league. You know, you tune in or you show up to the arena every night because you want to see superstars. You want to see Dame or Russ Westbrook or you know Kevin Durant. A lot of these guys.
That
If
LeBron
it's
guy's okay.
yeah, that LeBron dude's all right. And then you know, and the NFL is mostly about the shield and the actual NFL logo and what the league represents as a whole. Um, Baseball is a superstar sport, but it's also a sense of nostalgia, you know. And MLS is yes, it's partly driven by for sure by supporters culture, but there's also the star player impact that reverberates throughout the league. But I think when you think about USL, and tell me, I mean, I'd be a good conversation. I mean, tell me if you guys think this is true. When I think the very first visual that comes to mind when you think of USL as a professional sports league is supporters. I think it's the SGs. I think it's the smoke. I think it's the stuff that actually it's actually not field facing.
Mm.
It's the people in the stands. I don't. Does that? Do you guys agree with that? Do you
We
think?
probably have terrible answers and metrics for that, but I will certainly have a crack. And I think you're partly right. I think more so than and I mean you guys have a working relationship, so I'm not I think more so than MLS, I think the USL has done a really good job of trying to preserve some of those legacy teams and brands
Mm-hmm.
in American soccer. You know, Tampa being one.
Mm,
Uh, Miami FC has been around for a while at this
Charleston
point.
Battery just got
Charleston
man.
Battery, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, like
yeah. Yeah.
keeping Harrisburg around for as long as they were able to. Like some of the and I mean some of those are weird benchmarks, like the Rhinos come to mind. And yeah, a lot of that was even supporter driven.
Mhm.
But like I think the league does, and yeah, I'm blowing smoke, whatever. I think you guys do a really wonderful job at recognizing when supporters groups or fans in general have half decent ideas and encouraging them, you know. And I think there's definitely still a grassroots kind of element to the league, which I really like for sure.
We're super biased in that way because that's
Yep.
kind of what BGN is, the beautiful game. Like, we are
Mm.
almost like those rabid
Yeah,
supporters. I know, and I'm blowing smoke up my own ass here, but
yeah.
I had to say it because I do think that's part of it. But I'm glad to hear that from the league you guys see that as one of the better things about it. It makes me feel like my bias isn't too incredible. But I'd say some more of them are, our youth are starting to actually come into play into the world market. I think that's incredible and super exciting. I feel like you're pushing. Like Taylor Twellman was on Extra Time, and he talked about, they brought up the USL, and they chatted about the USL for like 15, 20 minutes. And they talked about how, like, the USL is pushing MLS, and they talked about how you guys might be the first to bring in that concussion rule. I know that's on the horizon somewhere, hopefully, still. And, you guys are breaking ground in a lot of different ways and pushing the league above you. And so, that's another side to that that I'm really excited about as a fan as well.
Tony, I'm really curious as to
Yeah.
I
what
think
your
all of
answer
that.
is.
I think all of that's true. Like 100%. I think you talk about the youth development aspect. If you talk about being able to be nimble and do things from a governance standpoint, like head injury substitutions that other organizations, just by their size and
Sure.
stature and place in the world, aren't able to move as quickly on. Yeah, that's all 100% accurate, and that is part of who we are. The question of what is your brand is a difficult one to answer. But for me, the Spark Notes version of that is just to think, what is the first thing you think of when you hear USL? Like, what's the very first thing that comes to mind? And I think where we've landed as an organization is that for the most part, when people think about our league, they think about our supporters. So that's where we have to start is with supporters. And over time the league will grow and the quality of play will improve and maybe the brand will change and maybe there will be more roster continuity at these clubs on a year to year basis. So it'll become more about the guys on the field kicking the ball around than it is about the intersection between club and community and what's going on in the stands. But I think where we are today, the supporters by and large are the brand of USL.
What were you going to say, Pony? I'm curious what you would say as well with Evan.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things to me that the USL is accessibility for everyone. I mean, it's one of those leagues where you could get information really easily, and most fans from other teams aren't against giving information. There's not a lot of open hostility between clubs unless Memphis is posting something when England's awake. In that case, there's some open hostility immediately. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just one of those things that's why I think it's nice is if you go to other even MLS, if you start going up and look at some of their Twitter feeds, half the time a club posts something, it's a lot of negative reaction from
Hmm.
other fans from other clubs just jump in there immediately. And in USL, apart from some main rivalries or playoff games and things to that extent, it's not there. This is what I like about the league. It's the league where it's hard to really not be accepted unless you do something dumb. And
Yep.
even then, most players kind of make fun of you for a couple of days, and then you're right back in it.
It's true.
It's cool.
Ryan, I'm gonna let you go because you're probably a little busy. I would like to ask you a question though. You guys, what about a month ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, about a month ago, brought in Angela Huckleys as the
Huge.
new top advisor on women's soccer.
Yeah.
The W League did exist,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it wouldn't look the same because that would be foolish for me to think that, given how much USL itself has changed, let alone women's soccer in the country.
Mhm.
You're probably not at liberty to talk about what's going on a whole lot, but is there movement happening? I imagine the answer is yes if you hired someone to figure that stuff out.
100%. Yeah, there's movement happening. The genesis of bringing Angela Hookleys on is we have owners who are very, very interested in figuring out how they themselves personally, through their clubs and in coordination with the league, can help
Sure.
grow women's soccer. I think everyone, when you talk about women's soccer, I think everyone realizes that there's a bit of an opportunity gap between the
Mm.
men's and women's side. There needs to be more opportunities for women to play um, professional soccer at a level that suits them. We need to get we just collectively need to get better in that regard.
Mm.
So given that our owners are interested in helping bring that to life, we brought on Angela, and Angela's role as a former U.S. women's national team player who also sat on the board at U.S. Soccer and
Right.
who knows the space better than just about anybody in the world. Her role is to come to USL, to engage everyone in the North American women's soccer community and to bring recommendations back to the league and to
Mm.
develop a sort of strategic roadmap that leads us to a place where we can figure out as an organization exactly where we best fit in that conversation. And that hasn't been fully formulated yet. That hasn't
Sure.
been
Sure.
delivered. Those recommendations haven't yet come back to us. But we're open to whatever that might be. So we'll see what the kind of what comes of Angela's work, and we'll act on it when that time comes. So yes, there's movement, but we don't yet know exactly what direction it's going to take us.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember talking to somebody a couple years ago that was quite new at their job, and that worked out okay.
I think it means you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you though, Angela tends to be a lot more. She's a lot smarter, more articulate, and has a lot more experience than I do, though.
Well, then I'd advise you watch out.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
Yeah.
right. I think that's right. Yeah.
What do you got tonight, Ryan? Before you go, what do you think about the games tonight?
Whoa, they're gonna be good. I'm unbiased, right? But the team that that I'm most excited to see play tonight is El Paso.
Mm.
You probably read Jeff's piece on Mark Lowry and what's going on down there, and I think he just has a really unique system and a really unique style. And win or lose, it's gonna be an exciting product. So I'm excited to see what they can do, especially when in possession with the ball at their feet. I think there's going to be a lot of goals pouring in El Paso this year. So I'm excited about that. Can I ask before I go, and because I have the time, if you don't mind, I do want to
Yeah.
ask you a quick question. Is that all right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Go for it, brother.
Do you feel like because I think by virtue of my job I'm just genuinely interested in it, but do you guys feel like there's more and more buzz on an annual basis locally, nationally about the USL Championship. Like today, I feel like there's more and more coverage and conversation in my mind today than there has been at any other time I've been here. But you guys actually have a more sort of like longitudinal view of this league, even beyond my experience. What are your thoughts? Is it trending in the right direction?
For reasons that are all entirely out of your control. Locally here, definitely decline. Nationally, 200% accurate incline. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I could not imagine interacting with Jeff Reuter about USL Championship players and transfer rumors half a year ago.
Right.
And that happened. And even definitely seeing you guys pop up all over the place on The Athletic. Although while we're still trying to make sure that, local reporters give you guys the attention that you deserve, and I think that's kind of the space that we want to live in, is that we can be in every market and make sure that there's at least, somebody down there that's paying attention.
Yeah.
Nationally, for sure, which is the stuff that you guys can really control and really get after. It's been, night and day for sure.
I think that's the answer too, because I was like, I got Sam Stayskool to come on, and I kept thanking him like, hey, thanks for covering the league, like he was doing us a favor. And finally he was like, listen, man, like I cover soccer and this is important in the country. Stop thanking me. Like this is what I should be doing. So like that's a sign that like the fact that The Athletic hasn't said, yo, stop writing about those guys. This is a waste of our time and effort. They haven't said that. They keep covering more and more because it's valuable. I mean, look at this J.J. Williams story that just happened. Look at all the guys that moved on from the USL to MLS, which we're finding out apparently is almost like doesn't make sense as far as money and MLS rules, but they're still doing it. So, like, you guys, it's working, and I'm excited as a USL fan for that.
Odie?
Yeah, I think at a national level it has been trending up. It's going to continue to trend up. Locally, I think it depends much more on how our team's doing, if they're having a successful year or a bad year, what type of big movements the club's doing. Because I know for a couple of years, Sacramento got a little bit not quite as of a hot ticket here when they started slumping a little bit. They had a few not as good seasons after the first championship. But since then, and now thinking about MLS, it's moving up again. But as whole, as on a national basis, there's so many more teams and so many more associations, not only to MLS, but also the lower level USL clubs, even the tiers below that. And all of that keeps making it more important at a national level. And I think that will continue to be the case moving forward for the USL for the next, I think, indefinite years, as long as MLS keeps becoming a thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's cool. That's really cool. I appreciate it, fellas.
Thanks, Ryan, man. Appreciate it. Wish we had more time.
Don't be a stranger.
Hey, man. Yeah, have me on anytime. I like chatting with you guys. So, and thank you for doing stuff like this and for everything else you guys do. But this is really cool. So appreciate your time and enjoy the games tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. Thanks, Red. What a guy! Oh, America's sweetheart, Ryan Madden.
Yeah, I mean, did you see that beautiful face? For goodness' sake!
I really want that jacket. God damn.
Every time I see him, he's wearing something cool. He was rocking.
Every time I see him, he just looks better than I do.
Right.
You know? And it's like, oh, I'm living in Tampa and blah blah blah. Yeah, my life's so great. I get to work in soccer.
Speaking of looking better than us, David Carl just joined us. It looks like. What's up, David? Are you there?
Hi, David.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Would you like to lament about not being Ryan Madden?
About not being Ryan Madden? Yeah, I'm not him, and it makes me very sad.
It does. It really does.
That's the correct answer. You can stay.
Even the hair, right? Like, it's always that, like, half greaser cut, but it's good.
To use the term, it's perfectly coiffed.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
This is why you're here, David. This is nice.
I'm here for the coiffs.
What do you say, Pony? We talked about gambling earlier. Were you happy?
Yeah, I think I got at least the kind of tail end of that, but it would be interesting to see USL be able to be a part of the, I guess, major gambling market if that becomes a thing moving forward. I mean, you have enough people who would be interested in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to go too in depth. We're gonna get Jason Weintraub on because he's got a problem, I think, with gambling. And once he comes on to talk about USL League One, I think we're going to chat pretty in depth about it. But I'm excited. I almost put money on something this week. What didn't the 538 like gambling rankings or something came out as well?
Yeah.
What came out? Not the rankings, but wasn't there a gambling version
it
of
was,
it?
all the sports books put out their futures for USL.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so I wanted to check and see if I could put anything on the games tonight, but I haven't seen anything yet. I live in Pennsylvania. It's legal here. Hi.
Yeah, I don't know if it's legal here as well either. So,
I don't know.
St. Louis?
I think if you're not in a state where it's legal, it's gray area legal. Where as long as you're
That
not
makes
winning
sense.
hundreds of thousands of dollars, no one's gonna really care that much.
Yeah, that's fair.
Check your
Yeah, in
local.
New Mexico, you can do it at the casinos and nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it started here, and then all of the casinos ended up getting their own apps for sports books. So it's probably coming to you guys. It's just not there yet.
That'd be nice.
Because if the state can tax something and make money off of it, they're going to. So
Yeah. Well, Phil Bucky's joined us. Phil, you there?
Yeah, I am.
Thanks for coming, man.
The other one's Chester.
So, yeah, your team's playing tonight. Are you pretty excited? That's pretty cool. You guys, you don't have to wait as long as the rest of us, basically.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It hasn't been that long of an off season, but it feels like it's been long. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to getting in, and it's nice to be starting the season off against somebody as strong as OC. Just get that barometer of the team just right off the bat. No waiting around. So just a strong test on a Friday night. So we'll see how they cope.
Yes, they are.
Speaking of,
no, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Rock, paper, scissors for it?
You go, David.
Speaking of cope, losing a guy like Kiesvetter, losing a guy like Velasquez, how do you expect Mark Lowry to adapt this year? Obviously, things change a lot when you lose guys like that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it took us a little bit to figure out kind of who we needed and where we needed the help. And it took doing mid-season deals for Kiesvetter and Velasquez to really get the offense firing, because up until that point we were pretty poor going forward. So I think they set out to kind of get the guys they wanted in, and Mark has a very clear idea of how he wants to attack. Bringing in Lomas, I think, was a clear departure from what we've done in terms of bringing in a forward with a lot of size, guy who can definitely compete physically with a lot of USL defenders. I think it was something we kind of ran up against. Even Kiesvetter ran up against trying to play as a number 9 against some of the guys in USL, and then bringing in a replacement for Velasquez straight off Miami's books with Dylan Mares coming in. So yeah, it's I think he's got a clear idea of what he wants to do. He brought in as well. We extended the loan of Jose Aron Gomez, who was a really important goal scorer for us at the end of last season. So yeah, I think he's got them well drilled, and they've got a decent goal scoring return in the preseason as well. So I think a lot of these guys are coming in with confidence. It's just a matter of putting it together and overcoming that, those questions, and hopefully they can put a couple in the back of the net tonight and kind of get past the looming Kiesvetter and Velasquez questions, quickly tonight, and not let that loom over the beginning of the season.
David was so smart to ask that right off the bat, because that's been the question on my mind all off season, and it was a great answer and very thorough. I think someone did ask, and so I can't remember who asked it, but what do you think? Do you think we're going to be over 3 goals tonight or under? Because I know El Paso can score, OC can score, but Pony would tout your defense from time to time last year, so that's something he watches for and is usually right about. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're first and foremost a defensive team. So my gut and I won't lie, the prediction I made on our episode earlier this week was a 1-1 draw. So I guess I'm going with the under.
Uh-huh.
But preseason results would lend themselves to the over, because a 3-1 win over OKC, and then a 3-3 draw with Phoenix. There's been a lot of goals. So maybe with a settled kind of back four and not chopping and changing the way they do in preseason, maybe that'll shore things up for Locomotive, because I think first and foremost, Lowry does want them to set up, possess the ball, as we know, and keep teams from scoring rather than get into a shootout. But I think we're more capable of winning something like that this year. But I'm going for the 1-1.
Yeah.
So we were on the Curse Cast last night, and we had kind of a roundtable thing. We were doing a Western Conference preview, and we got to El Paso, and we kind of talked about, again, them losing some of those key players, but bringing in a few others. It feels like the wealth is kind of more spread out. Frankly, I think it's a more talented overall kind of spread out roster, as opposed to maybe relying on another star or two. With that said, do you see a guy like maybe Ketterer sharing a lot of the load this year? And do you feel more confident with, again, the ability maybe to rely on the goals from multiple places as to maybe focusing on one or two guys?
Yeah, I think we got better from front to back. I think the additions we made in midfield are really exciting with Distel Zola coming in from France, and Monaco product, quite the pedigree. Just a really good athlete, and really good technical ability as well. So I think overall it is a lot more spread out, as he said, and I think they focused on being able to, Lowry said basically he wanted the whole roster to be able, he can look down the bench and know that person can change the game if they come in off the bench. And that was something we didn't really have last year. We didn't have a lot of game changers outside of the starting 11. So yeah, I think it's something they've definitely improved on. I'm looking forward to see kind of the combinations, because in preseason, as you guys know, they do change things up a lot, and they go with a lot of different looks, just to see what works. And right now, I'm not really sure, as we get close to the lineups dropping. I'm not really sure what Mark's going to go for tonight. That's
interesting. I like to think about that sort of thing, because as we all did our BGN rankings this year, and Carson kind of gives us this form to fill out and make our votes. And it's interesting to look at okay, I'm going to pick my MVP, and you kind of think, well, who's going to win it this year? And they're probably going to win it because they get a ton of goals. And so you think, well, if I were to pick, just for example, Louisville versus Phoenix. Okay, Louisville's going to have a team that kind of shares all the goals for the most part. I mean, Lancaster could go off, but you still kind of consider Rasmussen, all these other guys have the opportunity to score Ombi on a regular basis. Whereas Phoenix is this all-star team that has these stars who can kind of punch above their weight and score a ton of goals rather than team goals. But I'm kind of gathering, I didn't watch the West as much as I would like, but it sounds like El Paso is fine with being that Louisville type team. And you kind of think about almost like what Berhalter wants with the national team, where the system is going to score goals, the passing and the movement, and that's kind of fun. El Paso is one of my favorite teams out there for that very reason. What do you think about all of those things? Do you think about those things in general?
Yeah, I think this team is very much built in the image of the manager, and Lowry's very principled, likes to play a certain way, and so his possession style, that's what he's going to aim for. He's going to look to have 60 to 70% of the ball. But he spoke a lot last year when they went through these kind of dry spells in goal scoring. He would speak just about the fact that, from a management standpoint, he can get them basically to the penalty area. And then once you're in and around the goal, it's kind of improvisational at that point. It's not about the system. It's about that player kind of making the right decision in the right moment. And so I think what he was looking for as they try to be a little bit more clinical this year is he kind of has proof that the system worked, but they weren't lethal enough in front of goal. So he looked to add those guys who are going to give them that edge, and give them a little bit more of a clinical look in front of goal, as he brought in guys who have scored goals in USL, but also a few guys who have scored goals for us last year too. So yeah, I think that's why it has a little bit different feel than a lot of teams in the West, because a lot of teams in the West are the teams that are going to play direct. They're going to play attacking. They're going to kind of let it get wide open because they kind of thrive in those chaotic sort of games, and Lowry's kind of the antithesis of that.
I like it. I want to fit one last question, and I'm sorry I've been hogging the mic, but I want to talk to you because you're going to do this Sportcaster thing, and this is awesome. People can do all these alternative commentary streams. You've done it with Evan for a Leicester City game, if I'm not mistaken. So tell me about what you're going to be doing tonight and why you love Sportcaster.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's one of those things. I think a lot of sports fans, kind of grow up watching, and I had like this weird thing where I'm like, I enjoyed kind of the commentary side and certain broadcasters we always kind of latch onto, and the personality that it adds to the game. So when you watch ESPN Plus, it's awesome that all these games are available for broadcast, but obviously there's a little bit something lost when you're watching as the away team, because you're watching someone else's broadcast. And so what this allows us to do is bring a locomotive bias back into it, so those people who are used to watching our home broadcast kind of get things from our perspective and from the fans' perspective as well. So it's a really cool outlet. And yeah, tonight we are doing it live from the supporters group's watch party as well, down here at a bar in El Paso. So we get that kind of the atmospherics around it as well, and it made for some really cool moments last year when we did it on YouTube. But Sportscasters gives us that native kind of feel, and very it's just a very great platform for and makes it really easy for us to do it. So yeah, I'd encourage anyone who's into just that live aspect and kind of bringing your perspective to things to check it out.
Yeah.
Pony, any thoughts?
No, I think what's been said is true. I think El Paso is going to be a lot like they were last year. They're part of that. They're going to be 4th, 5th, 6th area for me with a couple other teams where they have enough pieces to be a lot higher than that, and they could be one of those teams who we're optimistic on, and just something goes wrong. They're in that perfect middle range where I could buy a lot of possibilities from them. They made that really good playoff run last year, and it'll be interesting to see how well they do this year, because I could see a lot going well for them, and I just see them falling back into that 6th seed who people pick against and then goes on a good run.
Cut you off there, Evan. Any last thoughts?
Oh no, I'm great. Definitely look for a friend of ours is trying to work something out with Sportscaster on a large scale. That I'm pretty excited for, as one of those kids that grew up latching on to sports commentators, notably the Chicago Bulls play-by-play guy in the 90s.
Tell me more. I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Oh, any of the MJ, shot on Elo, oh god, there's so many. Any of the Bulls calls when they were the best NBA team of all time 6 times over, were done by the same play-by-play guy. And growing up as a kid that was around in that era and had a weird affinity for the Bulls because of Space Jam, that dude is one of my heroes for sure.
That's cool. Well, Phil, dude, thanks for joining us. You already gave us your 1-1 guess at what the score would be.
You got it out of the way.
That's a good one, because Mason in our chat here said that OC have only lost 6 in their current stadium. It's pretty big. So 1-1 would be a pretty good get tonight, I think.
Yeah, the looking to just not lose that first game and take some momentum. I think early season draws on the road are pretty valuable, and we didn't get any joy last season. Lost 2-0 in OC, so looking to improve on that tonight.
Hey Phil, tell all the locos that the curse say hello, okay?
Yeah, will do. I won't repeat what they tell me back.
It's for the best. It's for
Like
the
it.
best.
All right, Phil. Good luck to your team, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, appreciate it. You guys too.
Phil Backey, great name, Phil.
Great name, great person.
Yeah.
Too, by the way, consistent theme tonight. People that we like. David, one. I like the Puma kit. Kind of makes you guys look like Borussia Dortmund.
Yes, I
It's
love
very
it.
Dortmundy, yeah.
There's a scarf that you have back there that is piquing my interest.
I can guess which one it probably is.
You
Is
certainly
it blue?
can, and you're right. It's damn it, I was gonna make a joke about one of the other ones back there, but I can't read them all, so that sucks. But yes, it's the Sons of Ben scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
So I was a son of Ben back in the day.
Here it is.
But that scarf in particular is actually
Yep.
more recent. I got that when we were in Baltimore at the ISC conference. I traded for that one.
Good man.
I do have my original first year scarf around here somewhere. Hold on. Actually, I can see it. One sec.
I don't know what Sons of Ben is.
This is my
That is
year
the
one.
Philadelphia Union supporters group.
Oh.
Year one Philadelphia Union scarf.
Oh, there it is. There she is. David, that means that we know some people who I like quite a lot. I imagine.
Probably. I wasn't nearly as involved with the SOBs as I am.
And I
with
wasn't there at all, but I know people that were, and I like those people.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Anyway, whenever I see those from people that are decidedly not in the state that I'm in right now, freaks me out.
It's one of the few non-USL scarves up there. Also the South
Good
Jersey
man.
Barons, which you'd probably recognize as well.
That's another one. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you guys a quick preview just because we need to be ready and on our game. We've got like a merging of streams coming up next. So Orange and Black Soccercast is live streaming in a bar before their game starts tonight, which is awesome.
All right.
It's so cool.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and look, they're
Speaking
signing
of.
in now, so we gotta make sure we're on our game.
Yeah, I got it.
We got Orange and Black on the line. They just signed in. We're interrupting their stream with our stream, basically. This is
Good.
one or all of Ray Samora. Dylan's there. Alan Underwood is kind of double dipping tonight.
We are all here. How are you all doing, gentlemen?
Great.
We're all gonna. This is gonna be a hell of a way
crazy.
to talk.
8 people talking over each other.
Yep, it's Evan, Phil, Pony, and David Carl's here as well, boys. But let's talk about your team. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling? Happy opening night.
I mean, I think we're excited.
That's good. That's usually a good feeling to have.
Yeah, right. The first game of the season.
Yeah.
But we both just sat in the last 2 minutes and said we're excited. But these two teams are basically the same in 2019. Maybe the Omni without Kieswetter and Velasquez, and with the suspension of Omar Salgado for El Paso. But I don't know. I'm nervous. I live in abject terror for the 35 weeks that this season runs.
Sure.
That's just how I have to do this, basically.
So you guys in our bar and you're streaming yourselves. First of all, thanks for joining us in the middle of your stream. How's it going, though? What have you guys been talking about?
Well, we took a long time to get going. We didn't have power for a little bit, and we are
Nice.
outside, so we were setting everything up. And Ray's been running around, stressing out, swearing at his computer. And we probably talked for 2 minutes. Hopped on.
So
Well,
what do you want to
Before we
talk
hopped
about
on yours,
tonight?
Actually, that's
Yeah,
how
we-
this is going.
Before
are
we crash the
crashing.
party.
Yeah, and Ray's now walking off to go somewhere.
Great.
Yeah,
Busy
so
man. Busy man.
as far as tonight, I know Orange County was a pretty good home team last year, and I think they're going to use that to their advantage again this season. And this is a good place for them to play. They play on the front foot. They play very aggressively offensive, and I think with the key pieces they added. They lost Seaton, but they added a couple of key pieces, and I think we see some of those guys put on some fireworks before the match, and there's fireworks after the match. So there's going to be fireworks.
That was bad. That
Thanks.
was really bad.
Thanks.
It
Been working
wasn't
on that all day.
great, but it was a very like commentator cliche. So you're a
Yeah,
step
it was
closer to being
perfect.
like a professional.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have Mike Watts on our show in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So we're
Whoa,
gonna
that
have
was weird because we
Alan
just
kinda-
had him on ours. That's wild. Stop stealing our ideas, Christ.
we came second, I believe, actually, on that one.
Oh, did we?
Well, I was
no.
last minute as usual. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
He was here first, so
yeah,
win.
that's right.
Yeah,
we
him. I think we lost the opportunity because we were having our technical difficulties, and we don't want to delay him from his work with ESPN and covering this match. So
yeah.
Well, let Ray know that we had some major audio problems in the first 5-10 minutes with Mike Watts, so don't feel bad. This is just how it goes sometimes. You get past it.
Oh, Phil, don't I know that already, right?
Right.
Yeah, does anyone have a bag of chips we could borrow so Alan can make as much noise as possible?
Yeah. Alan, listen, I know you have like a pad at home. Keep tempo. Just really wrap that a couple times right into the mic.
I forgot to put Alan's audio in our last episode, and anytime he was speaking, I'm terrible. Anytime he was speaking, it was just mouth noise and people drinking water. Oh, no. It was so bad.
Sometimes I want to mute him, so don't worry about that.
Great.
There's infighting in our podcast.
Oh, right.
We've been on for 10 minutes. What's
Pony,
happening?
I'm going to put you on the spot, man. You got to talk about Orange County. Ask these guys a question about how good they're going to be this year.
Oh, wow.
I'm the one I asked the question when I think I'm the highest on out of absolutely everyone this season, but I guess my
Do you want us to have David ask them a question about how they're going to be
I could
this
at least
year?
do one to see how optimistic they are, because
okay.
How many goals combined do Anna Volson and Okoli account for?
That's a good one.
God. How many goals will Ugo and Anna Volson account for?
Yep.
I'm going to look back. This is Ray. I'm going to look back to the season where we had Anna Volson and Michael Seaton paired up. They both scored goals. I mean, Anna Volson in that season was a Golden Boot race winner, an MVP candidate. And Aiden Quinn had an amazing season out there as well. So I think with Anna Volson being back, don't overlook what Aiden Quinn's going to be able to do out there on the pitch. But if we have to give a number, what can we say? Maybe 20. I'll say 24 goals between the two of them.
For Okoli by himself, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's either that or 8.
I am under the impression, to all of you, that like Sean Okoli knows that people are talking about him in like this weird way where it's like, oh yeah, he was good, but like probably didn't deserve MVP if you're Phil. I think he knows that people are talking about him, and I think guys like that have a point to prove. And there's another one over in Louisville that's in a similar situation, are kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed him a couple days ago, and I asked him what his goals were, and I mentioned, hey, you're replacing Michael Seaton, and people here loved Michael Seaton.
Yeah.
And scored a lot of goals, and people have really high expectations for you. And he just said, no disrespect to anyone, but I don't care. I've got some goals, and maybe later on in the year I'll share them, but my goal is to do my role as well as possible. So it was a really awkward interview because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a good soundbite out of this, and he was like, nah, man, screw you. I'm gonna score some goals. That's all you're getting. I was like, oh, okay.
That's the right mentality to have, though. But I mean, that's my question. I'm just really curious what he produces this year, and it's gonna be like the best measuring stick, like old USL versus not old USL, but like USL a few years ago versus USL now. How much has it improved, and I guess to a certain extent, how much has he improved outside of the U.S. as well?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I have high hopes, but no concrete idea. He had some good chances in the preseason, but it's preseason, and we all know, I think, that.
But he's got
even your team's win, Alan, is meaningless.
That's the thing about that answer, though, is that if he does his job in the OC system with all those guys around him, like probably goals will come,
Yeah, I don't think he needs to be a guy that's going to score 15 or 20 goals this season. Yeah. He doesn't have to be a Solon Asante or an Adam John, like if you're in Phoenix or I guess now Atlanta. But you can score 10 goals, and that's plenty when you've got Anna Volson, who can easily score 10 or 15 goals, and Quinn, who can probably score 3 or 4 from open play and add in another 10 from the spot. So,
it's a great point.
Looking good.
Yeah, because essentially Michael Seaton scores 13 in all competitions last season. So if you're doing, replacing him with 2 guys that can score 12, 13 themselves, you got to feel good. And then it takes the pressure off of each individual player. I think Michael Seaton last year wore a lot of that on himself, and I think he put a lot of pressure on himself to score all those goals. And so now you got two guys who can share that duty. And then if someone's not filling themselves 100%, you have 2-3 guys on your team that can put them in, as opposed to last year where sometimes you might feel like you're on an island out there in the striker role. So I think they went about it the right way and found, you lose Seaton, but you find those guys to fill in for him.
Here's the
Can we
question.
talk a little bit about the partnership with Rangers? I think that's something that's actually being utilized as opposed to Phoenix with Galatasaray. You bring in some players.
Yeah.
I admittedly don't know much about some of the players that you brought in out of the Scottish League, but the partnership's being used and seems to be probably being used to good effect.
Yeah, we got 3 kids. Well, they're barely younger than I am, but I'm still going to call them kids. We got 3
I
kids.
do it all the time.
We got Cammy Palmer, Matthew Shields, and Daniel Finlayson. They've gotten on really well in the preseason. They've got some other guys. They got Harry Forster. They've got Rob Kiernan, who are both with Rangers and are also not Americans. And they've got a couple other European guys in there to get on with. But they've gotten on well so far. Everyone seems to be in really high spirits, which I know is something that's said at the beginning of every season. But they were in a really good mood, and everyone's actually talking with each other this year, which I don't think was the case last year at this time. So they can't really go back, right? It's a 6,000-mile trip. It's not worth it for them to go play some youth games.
I hope they have Andrew Carlton that they send to OC because he has nothing else. Stop causing trouble in Glasgow. Go to OC.
Jack Grealish kind of vibes.
Maybe we get like Jermaine Defoe to come back and do a little rehab stint here.
Stranger things have happened,
Oh, I would love to have Jermaine Defoe out here, man. As a Tottenham fan, that would be amazing.
Ooh.
You know what's funny is it's funny to think about the comparison. I don't think we've talked about this on the show, but comparing that to Tampa Bay Rowdies and Norwich City, like they've gotten legit center backs from Norwich City's like U23 teams,
and their color scheme is exactly the same.
I've heard this. I've heard this.
That's the
take.
That's the only thing that matters.
But I believe, I don't know names as usual, but whoever the center back that came last year, I guess, was just sent on loan to like I think it's a League 2 team in England, and. Man, is that the level? I was hoping that's a little lower than he deserves, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think so.
Okay. Man, I thought we'd be on par with League 1 or the bottom of League 1 at the worst.
Yeah, like a mid-table League 1 team, I think, and then maybe some of the better sides. Like the 2017 Cincinnati, the 2018 Cincinnati, then 2019 Phoenix. Like those are probably maybe like relegation fodder championship sides.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit better.
And I think just being in a professional environment is important as well. It's not like it's level of play, yeah, but also just the expectation of being a professional and the expectations of being a professional compared to some of the youth level teams. Maybe the expectation is high. I think that's going to benefit them. And then just the cross, benefit of we sent Francis Jacobs over there to play with them, so it's not just sending guys here, but it's Orange County sending guys over to play in Scotland and getting some really good experience. So when they come back, they're going to play older than the 14, 15, 16-year-olds that they bring in. They're going to have that experience in a bigger stage. So it's both ways, and I think it's a really positive experience. And I think we see more and more teams taking advantage of this, and hopefully it's a model for some USL teams to take advantage of.
Phil, I've got bad news. I had time to fact check you.
Mm-hmm.
It's Caleb Richards.
Thank you.
He plays for Yeovil Town.
Ouch.
It's below
just
League 2.
got relegated from League 2 to the National League.
As I said it, I was like, I think it might be amateur.
Yeah. So I think that's a little harsh for him.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. And it's a weird thing because, like, I think those squads in the Premiership are so big that maybe some of the time you're just trying to find a place for, especially those kids, to just go play.
Just give them some minutes.
I think some lineups are out now.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to find it, and I'm going to be able to post it on this stream, actually. This is great.
Orange and Black Boys, you should go talk about that on your stream.
Oh yeah, we've
What should
taken
we
up
talk
a lot
about?
of your time.
The lineups are out or about to be out.
Yep. Yeah, I just saw Orange
they're-
County's is
they're-
out.
they're out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
All right. Well,
send
so the lineup that
actually
matters
find
to you
time.
guys is out.
Yeah, we're going to definitely get into that.
Here it is.
We
Alan's got it.
so we're going to have to sort of wrap things up of Crashing Your Party because we've got one of
Yeah,
our
no
guests
worries,
here that
brother.
are ready to talk to us. Really quick,
I got
can you guys give us just a quick prediction of the score for this match? Each of you. Quick.
2-1 Orange County.
It's exactly what I was gonna say.
Great, cool.
So
I'll
I
go
have
3-1.
I have 1-0 Orange County.
Ooh,
All right,
1-0.
well, so it's a win to the boys in black tonight.
Go Orange County, right? And it's not black; it's actually orange now for the home kits.
That's a shame.
Very
Home
nice.
kits are orange, which is awesome.
I like it.
Although I guess in California it makes a hell of a difference.
Yes, definitely.
Well, let me see this, gentlemen. Thank you for letting us crash your live show, and thanks for coming on and talking with us. The first
All right,
ever
boys.
simulcast for the USL show and Orange and Black Soccer Cast. Hopefully, we'll do this again in the future, and hopefully, we'll be able to have actually video that we can send your way so you can see what's going on over there.
Dream come true, boys. Good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot, Rip.
All right, have a good one.
See you
Take
soon.
it easy, guys.
That was awesome.
I've said it about everybody. What a group of boys.
Group of boys.
What a group of boys. You know.
I am live sizing the starting 11 on our stream, but
Yeah. We should talk about that. Eh?
it's live. It's
Did
fun.
Orange
Did El
County
Paso release
attacking
theirs?
is so scary.
Oh, you know what's fun too? You know a dude really wants to come back and make an impression when he's going by a different name.
Oh shoot. Who is it?
Okoli is just going by Ugo now.
That's crazy.
That's so hot. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
it
And
threw
he's
me
got
off.
the 9. Like, this dude is mad.
It threw me off for a couple seconds when I looked at the Orange County line. I'm like, where the heck is Okoli? Is he hurt? I'm like, oh, wait,
Is
no,
it
no,
bad
that's him.
that whenever I think of Sean Okoli, I just think of his Twitter handle, which is Ask About Ugo, and then I'm like, oh, it's Okoli. Okay. I think all of their...
Boy, I'm having trouble with this picture, so I apologize.
Smith and
to the
Kiernan
stream.
are throwing me off. I think all their Rangers kids are at least represented. Finn Lassen's on the bench.
I'm going to cover me up with this picture. Here we go. So Cervantes, Alston, Smith,
Oh, yeah, sorry, I should plug that, shouldn't I?
Kiernan,
Carson did a feature on Sean Okoli, by the way, which is up on BGM.
Yeah.
Go check that out.
our bad there. Orozco starting, big surprise there. Chrysostomo, Aiden Quinn, Casiple, Anna Volton, Ugo, Palmer. Pony, are you familiar with a lot of these guys? What do you think about the lineup?
At least with a lot of the Italian group. I know Casiple, Enevoldson, Ugo, Quinn, all those are names. I go, oh yeah, them, and oh yeah, they're also good.
Mhm.
It's one of those where,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's one of those where, like, I could believe, like, a year ago, I could have bought all those teams, made, like, the all USL second roster type thing.
Yep.
Aiden Quinn's one of my
All
favorite
playing
players
for Orange County.
in the league. I think he's so good. He's
Yeah,
just such a different.
I was saying
thinker.
Orange County could be the third best team in the league this year, and just this roster makes me happy about that.
Well, seeing how Kiernan does tonight could be kind of an answer to your question earlier, Phil, about kind of the level that it's at, because he was in League One last year for Southend.
Okay.
So seeing how he does in this match is maybe the start to your answer on that.
Is he a Rangers player, Kiernan? I think he
No,
is, right?
Palmer. So the Rangers boys, Palmer's starting.
Okay.
Cammy Palmer. That's the Canadian Northern Irish kid. And then Finlayson and Shields are both on the bench. So
And Kiernan was a Kiernan played for, like I said, Southend United last year, but was at Rangers prior to that.
oh.
So, there you
So
go.
maybe a bit of a nudge. Hey, you should go sign that kid. Kind of.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, you know what? He may have. He was formerly at Watford, on loan from Watford in the Watford system.
fun.
At Wigan. I'm looking him up right now.
Wow.
I got him on transfer mark, and he's Irish.
There you go. I mean, Kiernan. That's a very, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I mean that means I like him. So
Well, there you go.
Exactly. You're not a fan of the Irishman, Evan, correct? Is that right? No. That's not right.
The movie.
The movie,
I
not
didn't
the
see
people.
it.
little too long-winded.
Yeah, no, the people are lovely though.
I like it.
Well, unless you're opposite them on a field, then I've heard they're not so lovely. But
All right, I just went to El Paso's page. They do not have their lineup up quite yet. So
well done.
I'll just refresh every
Yeah, I think
once
they
in a
have
while.
another 10 minutes, right?
In a perfect
Yeah.
world, they have 10 minutes to get it up. Yeah.
St. Louis, I mean, I feel like they were always so crazy. They always did it like right on the dot. Like I don't think they wanted the other team to see the lineup until the very last minute. I swear to
New
you,
Mexico
that's
did that for every match last year, right on the dot.
right.
Good for them. Guys, Brad Polonsky's here.
What's up, Brad?
And as evidenced by the litany of Reno things
There's other stuff.
on him and behind him, and the polo scarf. I'm sorry. I imagine that means you're here to talk about Reno,
I guess it's that time, isn't it?
which is fortunate because it is that time. So, Brad, we've done it. Well, you've done it. You've made it through. We're into the regular season night. What are your thoughts? How are you feeling? Are people overreacting to preseason still? What's happening?
You know, Reno's preseason kind of went a little rockier than I expected. This past game against San Diego showed up, and we started a bunch of players that I don't think get much action time once the season begins. But you know, I'm just looking at the lineup. They just posted it for tonight's game.
I'm on it.
I know exactly.
And we scrambled to go
as
to it.
soon as I say that, I'm like, what am I looking at? I see San Jose is having an influence on our lineup and sent up Scahan. He's one of their rookies that they drafted in the Super Draft. I don't know off the top of my head who Lopez is, and that's, I guess, my fault for not knowing these things. But Calvillo's up here. Fuentes and Haji are also starting. Those are all San Jose guys. So I guess you can say that this is Seattle 2 versus San Jose 2 tonight.
Seattle 3?
Does Seattle have their starting lineup posted?
Oh
no.
I don't think. I can't imagine. I'm gonna be really surprised if they do. As someone that followed a 2-team around for a long time. No, they do not.
Okay.
Wait, yes, they do. Just kidding. 4 minutes ago, they posted it. Yeah. It's
Twitter?
fine. Yeah, it's over on Twitter.
Okay.
Trey Muse and Alfonso Ocampo Chavez are the two names that stick out to me. Other than that, it seems very much like a two-side. Unless that is the Colin Fernandez that I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah, it is. Colin Fernandez is there from St. Louis last year.
All right. So then that's another guy that's got something.
Yep. He's got some sauce.
Yeah. So as for our preseason, when our guys started, I felt like the team was doing really well. Yeah, we had some unfortunate games against Sacramento, 1-0 loss. That one game this past weekend, a 4-2 loss to San Diego was also unfortunate. But we had a strange 5-1 loss to San Jose, I think, or 5-2. That game against San Jose, though, I am extremely writing off because they were playing Wando and a bunch of other guys against Trialis in the 120th minute. So just throwing that one out, that's a strange format game, 160 minutes. Other than that, you know, looking forward to tonight a lot. Get to go down to the bar at the stadium. Missed game nights. Unfortunately, it's not starting here.
Can we talk about why Corey Herzog is going to be the MVP of the league this year?
Whoa.
Yes, that is a hot take that I am
That's
subscribing
right out the
to.
box.
That's my pick. That's my MVP pick.
I like it. Good on you. So
Well, it means very
yeah.
good things for Reno if he is, right? So that's probably smart.
I mean, the offense runs through Corey Herzog. He's the guy who's going to get the ball up top all day long. And honestly, there's no other person that's going to put the ball into the net on this team, or at least on our starting lineup tonight. It's going to be the Herzog show. If Reno is expected to win this game, it's going to have to be 2 or 3 goals from him tonight. And I feel like after the season he had last year, re-signing him was a huge thing for us. If we lost him, our team would have probably been a dumpster fire. That was our huge concern going into the end of last season. What else you got for me?
I guess one of them for me is is Reno gonna do the typical slow start where the most games they've ever won in the first 5 has been won, or do you think they're gonna be like actually get out the gates moving quickly on this one? Even though they are a really good regular season team, they just always have started slow.
Yeah.
Let's look at the schedule, because tonight, if we don't win tonight, I'm going to be a little surprised. With games coming against Austin, I'm visiting you on that Wednesday night, Pony, in Sacramento, and Portland too. 2 of those games at home. If we can't win at least 2 or 3 of these games, or at least get, I'm going to say at least 6 or 7 points. That's going to be when red flags start hitting for me. But if
How do you feel about Las Vegas Lights?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't even pronounce them by name anymore. I think their debacle on Twitter this week and their announcements is the most embarrassing thing. Have
Brad,
you guys read the article?
I will say what they do better than anybody else in USL is bring everybody together towards one common goal of just dunking on them.
Is that something that they should be striving for, though?
No,
is
but
that what
it's fun for the rest of us.
That's David's got me. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Until they can. If you guys have seen the article, they say something along the lines of nobody in Reno can submit a design because it would be stupid anyways. And this is like they have a Reno beat Reno night that they have when we visit town. That they have a jersey that they having someone make. It's a debacle.
Yeah.
They need to figure out their stuff. They're not getting into the MLS with shenanigans like this, and that's I think Lashbrook's ultimate goal.
Right. Yeah.
But for the rest of us, it's fun. I mean, I'm gonna design a kit. I'm definitely designing a kit. Yeah.
What do you think the winning bid's gonna be of? And
Chaos.
do you think that no, like the amount, not the.
Oh God,
I question why not do it like an auction style? Like you can see the bids, so you can outbid somebody. I feel like it would go up higher on that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so
they can award whoever they want.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope what does happen is the dude in Germany that bought all the Harrisburg City Islanders R2D2 kits from a couple years ago. I hope he finds that and just buys all of it because he has more dollar power because he's paying in euro. And I hope he just designs all 17 kits.
No, I think it's just a one-game thing. The other kids have been decided, I think, for the most part. They had that off-season competition where they drew it.
And you get to pick the game, but it's only of a certain number of out of a certain number of games. So I think the match against Reno is not one of the options.
Got you. Okay.
I'm done talking about them. Let's be honest. If they finish anything above 16th, I think that's beating a lot of our expectations on the year.
Yeah. Brad, we'll leave you to it, but before we do, we need a prediction from you tonight, my friend.
I came on our stream earlier this week, 1868 Weekly. I said 4-1, and I feel like it would be. Yeah, I went big. Just I feel like it would be a shame if I went away from that. So I said 4-1. I'm going to say 4-1. Reno's going to win tonight.
Fair enough.
I just feel it. I don't know.
I like it.
It is a feeling in your bones, and you have it. Phil, go for it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me.
No worries, Brad. Take care. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys too.
Right.
Yeah, that Vegas stuff is wild, eh?
So nobody from Reno is allowed to design the kit. So what we do is we get everybody from Reno to pool their money.
Send it to us. And okay.
And we'll bid half that amount.
Tea.
Plain white tea.
Not a bad idea. The sponsor for that one should be Hey There Delilah at that point.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I simultaneously love and hate that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's all our guests, guys. We had them all lined up, and everybody signed on at the right. I can't believe this has gone as
That,
decently as it
worked.
has. Yeah.
Almost. That's wild.
Preseason show, boys.
We're almost good at this. We're almost good at this.
Pre-show, pre-game show. That's what we are.
Well, the timing was pretty great. Like it's not just you guys setting it, which great job, but also them like coming in at the right time. Everybody coming in at the right time.
Yeah.
David,
pretty
that's
unheard
the power of having two options for people to join, one via landline and another one via just clicking a link. It's nice.
Huh?
So the other good one I think you could do to mess with Vegas would be to have it just be a checkerboardish pattern, but have like 3 or 4 hidden QR codes in there. That's all.
Oh no! Oh, like that.
That was a good one.
I'll link to Reno's homepage.
And then, well, no, they all link to highlights of Vegas losing throughout the years.
Eric went all the mishaps.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Great.
No.
Wait, should we all do predictions for the Reno Tacoma game?
Yeah, I 4 seems ambitious, but not unreasonable.
Oh, I don't think it's unreasonable at all.
No.
If
I'm
anything,
gonna go 3-0 Reno.
I think I was about to say, if anything, Tacoma scores 2. I would say 4-2 would be. I think it'll be.
Okay.
I think this has a good chance of being a barn burner in some ways.
I go 2-0 both goals to Corey Herzog.
All right.
I'm going to go a little bit out of limit. I'm just going to say 2-2 draw. Because Tacoma actually is not bad at home. At least they weren't too bad last year.
That's true. I would never go with a
looking
draw,
at
though.
just looking at the last half of the season, they beat Vegas 4-1, Orange County 2-1, San Antonio 5-1, Austin 3-1. So I don't know. I think it's a bit of a trap game out the gate for Reno here, especially if they start slow.
All right, so I have a question for you guys.
Did we lose David? Is that just me?
Question mark?
No, if you're healthy, no.
I mean, if you haven't heard anything, right?
I haven't.
Yeah. I think you'll be okay. I also imagine there's worse places you can get stuck without anything to do than Austin.
Yeah, sure. There's plenty to. I mean, I've never been, but I've heard it's wonderful. I'm excited to go.
Should we look at matchups tomorrow? My internet's slow because of the stream that I'm producing here, but maybe we could
Phil,
pull
do
up
you
our
wanna look at
matchups.
tomorrow?
Do you mind looking them up?
No,
I've
I
got them
you.
pulled up. Oh,
I'm
you got them? You
I'm
got them?
super excited about a few of
yeah,
them.
I'm looking at them. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. North Carolina, Louisville, they're early. It's 2:30 Eastern. Red Bull 2 and Tampa Bay at 3 is a nice one. I don't hate Memphis and Indy at 7 Eastern. Bethlehem and Loudoun, you can probably not watch at 7:30. OKC and Colorado Springs isn't super intriguing at 8. St. Louis FC and the Miami FC at 8 is probably the matchup I'd watch out of that lineup. 2 8:30 games, San Antonio Real Monarchs and Austin Bold New Mexico United. Really can't go wrong there. Phoenix will probably stomp Portland, so don't watch that. San Diego and Vegas is interesting only because I want to see what San Diego kind of looks like. That's an interesting product there with one Landon Donovan kind of at the helm. And then the nightcap, Sacramento and Tulsa, who are still called the Roughnecks on Google, which kind of makes me sad.
So I was just noticing that Bethlehem Steel still called Bethlehem, and I thought that's ridiculous. And then I looked up and I saw Sounders FC2, which is much older than
and
that.
New York Red Bulls reserves.
Yeah, Google doesn't keep up with that. You got to go to the
they've been called that
USL.
on Google for like 2 years now. It's really funny.
You know what I was about to say is you need to go to the USL site, but they have an app. I just remembered.
They do.
I know, I was going to make the same thing. They have the app.
They have a terrible picture of me as the background on the loading screen too. Did you notice that?
Oh, I'll have to
It's
look.
a really bad picture.
There you
It's
go.
very not Ryan Madden looking, I guess, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Got about 3 more chins than Ryan Madden.
I saw you in
That's
person,
like 2.
David, and I think you're a
Oh,
good
was
looking
there for a
fella.
second. What's that?
I said I saw you in person a few months ago, or a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
I think you're a
Baltimore
good
was
looking
fun.
fella.
Foot mob is where to go, Mason. I agree.
You caught me. I was pretty gone by the end of that night. Could you tell? Yep.
The Cooligans, man. I was sitting right next to Phil, for the Cooligans, and they were very funny.
Hilarious.
Phil was not.
But
as
I'm
funny.
trying to remember which joke it was in particular. Which team? I think it was they were making fun of Chicago Fire, maybe, and Phil just lost his shit. It was so funny. It was so funny.
Part of that was I have been wanting to see comedy live like for 10 years, and I've not gone to a comedy show live, and it is better, much better live. But it was also like live comedy mixed with like it's the topic that I geek out on a regular basis. I really loved it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to get them interested in the USL.
Right.
I would love to see some kind of roast of USL teams. That would be fun.
I think Evan just took a break.
We're ripping on Vegas.
Right. It would be
What's
so
that?
easy to dunk on Vegas. Yeah.
I did what now?
Well, no. So I made a complete fool of myself around the Cooligans, and then because I just got so nervous.
Oh,
you
yes,
made a
you
fool
did.
of yourself,
Yes,
did you?
did.
Oh,
no,
not
he
that
did earlier in
night.
the
That
day.
night I was
Yeah.
good because
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
some beers in me. But the first time I met him, what did I do?
was
Like
not great.
I was nervous and I was talking too much and too fast, and I was
We
like,
were
I
talking
need.
to them for like 2 minutes, and Phil does the thing where he geeks out in front of somebody,
Yep.
which is fair. But like, I don't really give a shit about the Cooligans.
Right.
So, like, I didn't like they're nice guys, but like, I don't watch their whatever, because like our soccer worlds don't really cross paths
Sure.
a whole lot,
Right.
or our interests. And so I was like, oh, like good to see you guys, whatever. Like, obviously their reputation precedes them, so very friendly. Phil was talking too fast. I got the handshake from him. Phil stole a handshake from
Yes.
another dude who was like walking up as a fan, and then like made it worse by just
Made it
kind of
worse.
hanging out.
No, I didn't. No, I ran away. I ran as fast as I could. I stole the
That's right,
handshake,
yeah, you didn't even-
realized what happened, said, "I'm sorry," and I ran away.
Yeah, it was really good. And I was just kind of like, all right, well, let's go.
But I think they thought I was okay the next night, so I think we're okay.
Yeah,
They're probably like, oh, it's that guy's back. That's
Basically, what I'm saying is I wake up at night thinking about it sometimes.
That's fine.
Embarrassed. But it was fun.
Right,
That was a
next time
really
you see
cool
him,
place.
Just imagine everybody in their underwear. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what the winner of that night was to me? I don't know if you had any, but Bohemian. What is that? Oh, it's the beer in Baltimore.
Natty Bo.
Oh,
Natty Bo.
Yeah, Natty Bo's there.
Dear Lord, I loved it.
And they're affordable. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, they're.
I mean, it's just like water beer, but it's tasty. It's
Yeah.
like I drink Busch
I
in
was
St.
gonna say,
Louis.
if I had that over here instead of Yingling, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
I love Yingling. I miss Yingling. They don't have Yingling out here.
I like Natty Bo better. Is what I'm gonna say about that. Do they? You said they don't have Yingling, right?
No, I found this
Yeah.
cheap stuff that's decent.
What is it?
Natter Days.
Oh, buddy.
yeah.
No,
Oh.
it's summer in
Strawberry
Sacramento.
lemonade flavored.
It's not strawberry lemonade flavored. It is strawberry lemonade.
Well, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
5%
It's
strawberry
tasty.
lemonade.
Yeah.
Well, we talked
Guys,
about.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, tonight was fun. I'm glad we did this stream. I'm really excited. I think the games are. I think we talked about it earlier. Maybe we didn't. I think it's weird that Tacoma is one of the first games of the season.
Yeah, whatever.
But at least we get OC. I think that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go watch
I mean-
this OC El Paso match. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I think OC El Paso might be my pick for best game of the week, just looking at the schedule.
Yes.
About
I think Mike said that,
San
and I
Antonio
kind of
Monarchs
agree.
is a good match.
that. Yeah.
San
There's a few
Antonio.
interesting ones, but
San Antonio's
St. Louis v.
the
Miami.
yeah. both Loyal and Miami will be fun to see what they look like. But like San Antonio is like they've got 3 or 4 young kids that are worth watching on a worldwide level, in my opinion, right now. Like in the next 2-3 years, they could be huge.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that as well. You know, I like to watch the kids with potential. So
Yeah. And like I said, Orange County is going to be fun to watch all year. I'm just really interested, I think as Phil was saying, I agree with him, in this being a real measuring stick for El Paso. Again, they look different. I mean, they lost pretty much their 2 best players. How are they going to rebound? How are they going to look? If they can keep things within a goal, I think that bodes really well for them, because I think Orange County is potentially maybe the second best team in the West.
Yeah, and I would look to. I wish Reno, and not only just because it's a MLS2 side or whatever. Like, I wish Reno wouldn't have opened with Tacoma. Only because they had a really, really goofy preseason, just as far as results went.
San Diego match was wild.
Yeah, and I would just love to see them play like normal matches. Like they go, it's home against OKC next week, and then Austin the following. Like, I would rather see those games.
Yeah.
Agree.
Because I really, really don't think they're going to have any problems with Tacoma tonight.
It is really funny, though, when you wait for months and months and months for the season to roll around, and then you get Tacoma. It's like you're
it's away, too. Like, if it was home, it'd be one thing, but, like, to have to wait a week and be like, all right, well, we played a U23, that's cool.
Yeah.
Related news, though, I think they passed their board of aldermen to build a stadium. So, I mean, props to them. We go off on them a lot, but I'm really proud of the way they're like building their club. Even if they're going to be a 2-team, they're putting money into it, and I'm really happy about it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't be a 2-team forever.
Maybe not.
Who knows?
Maybe not.
Who knows?
Or, as I like to say, USL League One looks great this time of year. All that snow.
Yeah. If you're going to have that number 2 next to your name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want to get out of here?
Yeah, I'm excited for this game, so I'm going to go
20 minutes.
Get ready.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Refresh your drinks, get some food, and El Paso just dropped their lineup, so go check that out.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, no worries, dude. Take care, boys.
See ya.
The